Would you eat an onion sandwich, a pie made from vinegar, or even peanut butter stuffed inside a roasted onion? During the Great Depression, families invented strange, cheap, and creative meals just to survive. Today, we'll uncover 12 forgotten Depression-era meals and explore where they came from, how they were cooked, why people ate them, and what they might taste like today. Welcome to Forgotten World, the channel where we bring back lost recipes, strange inventions, and nostalgic traditions from the past. In the 1930s, food wasn't about luxury. It was about survival. Families stretched every ingredient, swapped flavors, and made meals out of almost nothing. Let's travel back in time and see how creativity kept millions alive. 1. Onion sandwiches. Onion sandwiches became common in poor farming families across the Midwest and South. Bread and onions were among the cheapest foods available. 2 slices of bread, a raw onion cut thick, and sometimes a pinch of salt or lard if you had it. That's it. Why they ate it? Onions were filling, grew easily in backyard gardens, and didn't spoil quickly. Bread could be homemade from cheap flour. Imagine biting into sharp, raw onion between plain bread. Spicy, tear-inducing, but strangely crunchy. Probably not delicious, but it got the job done. 2. Vinegar pie. Popular in the American South, vinegar pie appeared in church cookbooks in the 19th century and became a Depression staple when fruit was unavailable. How it was cooked: mix vinegar, water, sugar, eggs, and flour, pour into a pie shell, and bake. The vinegar gave it a tart, lemon-like flavor. Families couldn't afford apples or lemons, but they still craved desserts. Vinegar pie was the cheap substitute. Taste today: sweet and tangy, with a sharp kick at the end. Not gourmet, but surprisingly close to lemon pie. 3. Hoover stew origins. Served in soup kitchens during the 1930s. Named mockingly after President Herbert Hoover. How it was cooked: boil macaroni, add canned tomatoes, sliced hot dogs, and sometimes beans. Stir everything together in one big pot. Why they ate it? The ingredients were cheap and easy to stretch to feed entire families, or even communities. Taste today: like a watery pasta with hot dogs. Not glamorous, but warm, filling, and nostalgic comfort food for those who lived through it. 4. Cornmeal mush. Cornmeal mush has roots in Native American cooking, later adopted by settlers, and became essential in poor rural households. Boil cornmeal in water or milk until thick. Serve soft for breakfast. Let leftovers cool, slice into squares, fry in grease for dinner. Why they ate it? Cornmeal was cheap, plentiful, and versatile. It could be eaten twice a day in different forms. Taste today: similar to polenta, creamy when hot, crispy when fried. Still enjoyed in parts of the South today. 5. Dandelion salad. Eating wild greens like dandelions was a survival tactic passed down from rural Europeans and adopted by American families. Pick fresh dandelion greens from the yard, boil them to reduce bitterness, or serve raw with vinegar dressing. Why they ate it? Free and nutritious, rich in vitamins A and C at a time when fresh produce was scarce. Taste today: bitter, earthy, and a bit peppery. Modern foodies might compare it to arugula or kale. 6. Potato pancakes. Inspired by European immigrant traditions, like latkes, potato pancakes became popular during the Depression. Grate potatoes, mix with flour and water, fry in oil or bacon grease. Potatoes were cheap, filling, and stretched far. A few potatoes could feed an entire family. Taste today: crispy, salty, and satisfying. Still a comfort food in many cultures. 7. Peanut butter stuffed onions. A strange but real recipe found in some 1930s cookbooks. Families experimented with unusual pairings to make meals filling. How it was cooked: roast whole onions, scoop out the insides, fill with peanut butter, then bake again. Why they ate it? Onions were cheap, and peanut butter was a protein-rich substitute for meat. Taste today: strange and heavy. The sweetness of peanut butter doesn't blend well with strong onion flavor. Most people today would find it unpleasant. 8. Prune pudding. Prunes were cheap imports from California farms and common in Depression pantries. Boil prunes until soft, mix with sugar and flour, thicken into a pudding, sometimes served with milk or cream. Why they ate it? A rare sweet treat that was cheap, long-lasting, and required no fresh fruit. Taste today: sticky, syrupy, and very sweet. A dessert for people who had very few options. 9. Mock apple pie, popularized by Ritz Crackers, who printed the recipe on their boxes in the 1930s. Layer crackers, sugar, cinnamon, and lemon juice or vinegar to mimic apple slices. Bake in a crust. Why they ate it? Apples were expensive, but crackers and sugar were cheap. Families wanted the feeling of apple pie. Taste today: shockingly close to real apple pie. Sweet, cinnamon-spiced, with a fake apple texture from the softened crackers. 10. Cabbage soup. Rooted in European peasant cooking, cabbage soup became America's go-to Depression meal. Chop cabbage, boil in water with onions, carrots, or scraps of meat if available. Cook into a thin soup. A single cabbage could feed a family for days. It was cheap, warm, and filling. Taste today: simple, earthy, and light. Many cultures still eat cabbage soup today, though with more flavoring. 11. Carrot marmalade. This recipe came from the South and Midwest, where carrots were cheap and easy to grow. Housewives used them as a substitute for fruit preserves. How it was cooked: grate carrots, boil them with sugar, lemon zest, and sometimes spices until thick like jam. Why they ate it? Oranges and real marmalade were expensive imports, but carrots were everywhere. Carrot marmalade gave families a sweet spread for bread without the high cost. Taste today: surprisingly tasty, sweet, citrusy, and not too different from orange marmalade. Some modern food blogs still recreate this Depression hack. 12. Mock turtle soup. Turtle soup was once a delicacy, but Depression families couldn't afford it. They created mock turtle soup using cheap meat or no meat at all. How it was cooked: families boiled organ meats, like calf's liver or brains, or sometimes just vegetables, to mimic the flavor of rich turtle soup. Why they ate it? It made poor families feel like they were eating something fancy, when really it was scraps dressed up with herbs and broth. Taste today: strong, earthy, and a bit off-putting by modern standards. Definitely not gourmet, but it kept people fed. These 12 meals may sound shocking today, but they show how resourceful people were in the face of poverty. Onions became sandwiches, vinegar became pie, and carrots became marmalade. They remind us that food is more than flavor. It's about endurance, family, and making the best out of nothing. Which of these meals shocked you most? And be honest, would you try peanut butter stuffed onions or mock turtle soup today? If you enjoyed this journey through Depression-era cooking, don't stop here. My next video will take you into the strangest inventions of the past, gadgets so bizarre you'll wonder how they ever existed. So hit subscribe and join me again as we keep uncovering the forgotten world, because the past is full of surprises, and we're just getting started.